All right, so today we're going to be unboxing the OY3X frame from Wish. It was engineered to create a durable frame that allows for both distance and urban skating, incorporating features that reduce weight, maintain rigidity, and ensure responsive skating. So there are two wheelbases with the OY3X, 247 millimeter and 283 millimeter. We'll get into the details a little bit later, but note that the longer 283 millimeter wheelbase has a micro rocker that promotes agility at lower speeds, but helps maintain stability when going fast. So first impressions, even the packaging is designed really well. Also, the frames, as soon as you touch them, you can tell they are very high quality. I did drop some of the stuff as soon as I opened up the envelope, but that was 100% my fault. So once I got the package unpacked, had a ton of parts in there. So one thing I do love about Wish frames, they do come with a ton of parts, even their aggressive frames. So you always have a ton of extra parts when you're done. Very excited about these UFS 165 adapters. These are going to be crucial for the different mounts we'll be doing later on. We'll see. We'll get into that. But the fact that there's four is cool because it means you'll probably have extra ones. Amongst those other things, we have various size frame bolts, washers, axles, spacers. Don't know what these are. Not sure what those are either, but I'll do some research, make sure I let you guys know what the deal. Let's get into it. All right, so this frame is designed for 3 different wheel sizes. You're going to have a 100 millimeter setup, a 110 millimeter setup, and a 125 millimeter setup option. I'll go ahead and show you why these setups are unique right now. Let me get this thing mounted back up. So first of all, I found out what these pieces were. They are just frame bolts, but unique frame bolts, just used for certain setups. This is probably going to be used for like FR type setups. This one is probably for something that just needs a smaller head for whatever reason, or a longer screw. So anyway, let's jump into it. So comes with 4 of these adapters. These are going to be important when we talk about the different setups we're going to need. So actually, let me clear these parts out of the way, and I'm going to put some UFS and a 165 mount boot up here so we can compare what the mounts are going to look like and which we're going to need. So 1 second. All right, so these frames are UFS, which stands for Universal Frame System, which is the standard mounting for aggressive skating. That means they will go onto skates like this UFS skate, this Razor Shift, without any issue, any modification whatsoever. So if you are trying to attach these to an aggressive skate, both the 100 millimeter setup, which is this one right here, which I'll get into in a little bit, and the 110 millimeter setup, which is right behind it, can go on there without any issues. If you wanted to go to the largest wheel size, which is 125 millimeters, you will need all 4 of these UFS adapter and risers. Now they're called adapters and risers because they help rise the frame away from the boot, allowing for the larger wheelbase. So if you wanted to go the max wheel size, which is 125 millimeters on an aggressive skate, then you're going to need all 4. The reason I said you're probably going to have leftovers is most people aren't going to be skating the 125 millimeter setup on their aggressive setup. So odds are you'll have these left over, and you can use them for pretty much anything else that you want to convert. So I think that's really cool. Again, one of the things I love about the products that I buy from Wish. So if you, on the other hand, wanted to put any of these mounts onto a regular, what we call rec skate or a 165 mount, like this FR1, for example, then you will need 1 of these at the heel for each skate. So you'll need a total of 2 of these, again, meaning you'll have 2 left over, usually, even if you're converting a rec boot. So really cool, really easy, even for the 125. So 110, 100 millimeter, and 125 all only require 2 of these total. Now I'm sure it's obvious from just looking at these 2 setups front to back, but the wheelbase right here on the 100 millimeter setup is obviously a little different than the one in the back. So the wheelbase on the 100 millimeter setup is going to be 247 millimeters. On the 110, 125 millimeter setups, the wheelbase is going to be 283 millimeters. You can also see that right here, these two wheels are closer together than they are here in the back. So that's one of the features of the 100 millimeter mount. Just allows another unique setup. The 283 millimeter wheelbase on the 110 and 125 millimeter setups is also a little bit larger than on a lot of frames. All right, so I mounted the UFS skate, this Razor Shift. Pretty straightforward, came out pretty cool. I'll do a better job of showing some footage in a little bit. But I was going to mount the 165, but I figured I'd go ahead and turn on the camera so you guys can see exactly what that involves and how to use this riser. So here's the riser, right? It has this circular spot right here that fits in perfectly right here, right into the spacer. And then you just use that, boom, attach it just like that. And this is where this frame bolt comes in. So I wouldn't be able to reach if I used the stock frame bolt. So yeah, gonna go ahead and attach them, and I'll show you guys what the finished product looks like right now. All right, so I got these skates put together, but one thing before I show you guys the final little pictures I failed to mention is the 110 setup and 125 millimeter setups actually have a micro rocker on there, so it's just gonna be under a millimeter, just to allow for a little bit of agility when you have that larger wheelbase. So just something to note. But let's get into the final pictures with the frames here. What are my final thoughts on the Wish OY3X frame? So I didn't have a chance to skate it, unfortunately. I am torn now between getting these and what I originally wanted, which was the Endless 80 frame, which allows me to do a 3x110, I'm sorry, by 3x100 millimeter setup as well, though not in this style or in this, not like this. So this intrigues me. Also, I think the parts alone, right? The fact that you get these parts, which are so obscure, is something that is dope. Like, you're gonna have some extra over, more than left over, more than likely, right? So you can modify something else. So I think that's cool, just for the novelty, and it just looks good. It's a cool looking frame. Look at that. Right, looks clean on there. So everything Cletus designs, like I said a few times, is always designed well and really high quality. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. He also has plenty of videos on the frame and more of the design available on his website. So let me know if you need anything else. I'll talk to you guys again soon.